Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another video. So in today's video, I've got a long-awaited collection update for you. This is one I've been promising to talk about for a while, but I kept getting delayed because A, I needed some time to get familiar with the releases, and B, a lot of interesting threads have been coming up lately, so I've spent some time responding to those. But anyway, today is finally the day I can talk about these new releases. So 3 different ones to talk about, and as the title indicates, they are all Finnish black metal. So if you like black metal, I hope you enjoy this video. So while these are all black metal, each band is stylistically distinct from one another, so there's a bit of diversity too. So we'll get straight into it. Just before we do that, what I put on in the background, this is Horna. So I hate the glare of these cases, but yes, Horna, this is a double disc set. So Horna is a famous Finnish black metal band, one of my favorite bands from that country actually. In terms of this style, just like brilliant, aggressive, atmospheric, and like with very like out of control warped vocals. So it's fantastic. This is actually a double disc set. It's got 4 albums, including the Hidden Tawny demo, also Koti Udetsan Nausua, one which is too long in Finnish and I can't pronounce, and Ordo Regnum Satanas. But yeah, just a brilliant band. This band is unique to me, and that's why I really like their style. There's a very particular atmosphere. So since today's topic is Finnish black metal, it's appropriate to be playing in the background. So Horna. Okay. So for today's collection update, 1 CD and 2 records. So this first one, I've actually mentioned it before in a couple of threads. So you're probably sick to death of me mentioning it, but I've never described it in detail. So today is finally the day. This is War Moon Lord with Battle Spells. First of all, superb album. That's in a nutshell, that's what I'll say about this. So of course it's Finnish black metal, a one-man project, and as I've mentioned in the threads, it owes a lot to Emperor in terms of both guitars and synths, but it still has its own distinctly Finnish twist. And on that note, there seems to be in Finland this resurgence of that Emperor in the Nightside Eclipse sound being done by a lot of bands, like this one, also Vargrav and Moon Citadel. But they do it so brilliantly, so I'm really enjoying that. And they also have their own, Finnish spin on it. So it's not like a complete carbon copy. But yeah, whatever they're putting in the water in Finland, they're pumping out some awesome bands at the moment. So on this album, the keyboards make the album literally drip with dark atmosphere and majesty. All instruments are played incredibly well, and the mix is perfect, so nothing's drowning anything out. The keyboards aren't drowning out the guitars, the drums aren't bulldozing everything. You can hear everything perfectly, which is great. And this album, you're just immersed in atmosphere. It's this vortex of atmosphere. It paints pictures in my mind of like Nordic landscapes and scenery. So you probably know what I'm getting at with this kind of style. If you like that stuff, check this band out. It's absolutely awesome. So you've got 8 tracks on here, and they're all really good. Just my favorites are tracks 3, 4, and 5. So track 3, Purging Nefarious Vortex. That is brilliant. It's got some scorching, emotive, fast guitar riffs in that unique Finnish emotive style, and also some incredibly dark and ominous and majestic keyboards. So it really soars for the atmospheric heights. Also track 4, Of a Moribund Vision. That's got a very grandiose intro featuring orchestral and brass instruments. And to me, it's reminiscent of the atmosphere of the Conan the Barbarian soundtrack, which was composed by Basil Pomodorius. And which is like just an epic soundtrack. And by the way, for that reason, it also reminds me of Graveland, which owed a lot to that as well, especially that album Creed of Iron, particularly with the melancholic choral keyboards. So if that is also an awesome album, you should check out Graveland, Creed of Iron if you haven't. Yeah, so this song also features some acoustic guitars and choral vocals. It builds up to a galloping, bouncy riff with keyboards dancing over the top of it. So absolutely amazing. Also, my other favorite track is track 5, the Key of the Moon Piercer. So that intro also sounds a bit Graveland-esque and reminiscent of Frost era Enslaved, with the bombastic riffs and the drums synced with the keyboards, like dan 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 over the top. And when the song starts blasting, the keyboards dance over the top with a string instrument sound to give it a really dreamy and wondrous feeling. So for that reason, it's enchanting, and it reminds me to a certain extent of early Dimmu Borgir as well, but it has much more in common with Emperor, I have to say. So yeah, so awesome artwork, by the way, and I'll just show you the disc. So you see here, it's a one-man black metal project, amazing, like Vargrav, he's creating all that sound by himself. And it also features a nice booklet with beautifully scripted lyrics, which are nice and readable. And really, wow, great artwork. I really need to spend more time with these lyrics, but from what I have seen, they're very reminiscent of Emperors in the Night Side Eclipse, which was written by Mortis. You know, he wrote those amazing lyrics. So yeah, awesome. Symphonic, atmospheric black metal. If you like Emperors in the Night Side Eclipse, definitely check it out. That's War Moon Lord with battle spells. Okay, so up next, the other two releases are records. So get straight into that. So the first one I'm going to show, this is Goat Moon with Variot. Okay, so first of all, look at that artwork, awesome. That owl, that is such a great iconic artwork, I love it. Okay, so before I start talking about the music on this album, I think I'd better say this before people absolutely lose their shit or get upset. I know that this band is infamous for having extreme and uncompromising political views. And I'm not sure how serious they are about that, but just for the record, I'm not interested in those views. And going further than that, I would say I don't endorse or support those views. I just don't. So, you know, I'm just saying that. As I mentioned with the Burzum albums, when I listen to a band, I listen for the music. So I'm not interested in any message they have in particular, especially when it's political, because politics bore me. But yeah, I like this band because of the music. So just to be clear, okay? So remember, at the end of the day, music should be the reason that you listen to a band, and that's why I do. But yeah, coming to that point actually, so this is just an absolutely amazing album. This band musically is just brilliant. So what's to be found on this album? You've got very fast and blistering riffs, but they're so emotive and so catchy, and just a bit like Satanic Warmaster actually. But this band definitely has their own style. It's a bit folky actually. So like there's a lot of catchy rhythms and melodic hooks, and I don't know, this band, it always reminds me of being out in the woods surrounded by nature, and a lot of the lyrics are actually nature worshipping. On that note, it's good that the lyrics on this album, they're absolutely brilliant. They mainly involve nature worship, living in nature, and also blended with magic and mysticism. So they only include the lyrics for 4 of the songs, so to my knowledge there's no political messages in this, which is good. But those, you know, like black metal lyrics that they write, they're so poetic and descriptive, without being overly detailed or wordy. Like, they're just ingenious, and that's a true talent. And they paint grand pictures in the mind, and they accompany the music perfectly. So wow, this band, like, they incorporate some acoustic guitars, some flutes. It's folky in a way. It's almost like quite jolly and melodic, and some of these melodies you can almost like not just hum along to, but whistle along to, I find. So anyway, I'll talk about some of the songs. So Storming Through White Light, that's the first track. That's got a melodic and majestic intro consisting of acoustic guitars. And when it kicks off, that's got some flute melodies over the top, and but those very distinct melodic riffs as well, but then flutes to even lift the melody further. And when the main melody kicks in, it sounds very folky and catchy, and there's also a slower part with flute melodies over the top. Then you also have emotive, fast and blistering riffs with an overall catchy melody. And the next track, Quest for the Goat, that's got those catchy Finnish sounding black metal riffs and melodies in the vein of Satanic Warmaster. So if you like Satanic Warmaster, you'll probably like this. And then track 4, which is called Varjo Valolta Sorjele. Sorry about my butchery there, but that translates to Shade Protects from Light. That's a slow and atmospheric track. So it also features some acoustic guitars and synths for increased melody and atmosphere. It's very nature invoking and also has some choral vocals, which is nice. The atmosphere just keeps building, especially with the clean vocals, which are like chanted melodies over the top, so no lyrics. But for me, this album really goes into full throttle on side 2. Awesome side 2. So first track is Valley of Shadows. That's got a galloping rhythm with catchy melodies. It's emotive and epic, and also features some choral Viking clean vocals over the top, which are a bit folky again. Then Wolven Empress, the next track, brilliant. It's got a very catchy swing rhythm and the folk flute melodies over the top. That one is actually quite jolly and danceable. Like, I can imagine people dancing around a maypole to that song. And it could be, when it slows down, it's so epic and emotive with the melodies. Like, yeah, when sometimes they do this really galloping pace and then they slow down with the flutes and everything. It's an earworm. Like, these songs just stick in your head with melody. And next track, Abomination of Winter, that's got a galloping rhythm with melodic, folky flute melodies over the top once again. And then the final track, Echoes of Eternity, That's got a haunting emotive riff with a catchy mid-paced rhythm. It kicks off with that black metal feel, but later riffs are also so melodic and hooky, and it's got that perfect haunting and epic feeling to close the album. So yeah, that's probably an overly detailed description, but that's how I am. I didn't want to leave anything out, but yeah, this album has a lot of hooks, a lot of melody, great rhythms, and a lot of variety in rhythm and tempo. It's just got everything. The vocals are awesome, everything about it. So amazing stuff. Okay, yeah, so once again, you can see the reason why I like this album is because of the music. Okay, so I'll just show you the booklet. It's not a gatefold, but okay, just show you the vinyl because it's quite stunning. Okay, so you see here it comes on this kind of like clear, muddy water, coffee colored, black swirl, whatever you call that, and then you also have this. So this is, it's got that typical sort of Werewolf Records design, but I really like this vinyl. Beautiful. Okay, and going into the rest of it, yeah, so you also have an insert which has got a picture of Black Goat. Yeah, it tells you the lineup here. So this was when it was a 4-piece band, and also all of the lyrics on the back, which I like, about nature worship and mysticism. So yeah, absolutely brilliant album. I like this. You know, for me, yeah, I don't like it when bands get political, but it's up to any band what they choose to write about. So, you know, it is what it is. But I just think, for me, like, black metal is a freedom thing, so it has nothing to do with totalitarianism. But hey, that's just my view. And I think a lot of these bands may do it for shock value, but as I said, not interested in the politics, and there are none on this album, which is great. So if you're open-minded just to check out great quality black metal, definitely listen to this. This is Goat Moon with Varjot. Oh, which means, in Finnish, it means shadows, which I learned from my friend Norwegian Black Colt. Sorry, mate, I don't know your name, but yeah, he's very knowledgeable about foreign languages and, you know, the historical and cultural significance of a lot of concepts featured on albums. So yeah. All right, so the last album I'm going to talk about. This is another controversial band, but in a somewhat different way. But one of my favorite bands. This was the first black metal band I ever heard of all time when I was 14 years old. Their album Tolkon's North, North, North. So of course I'm talking about Impaled Nazarene. This is Impaled Nazarene with Pro Patria Finlandia. So first of all, look at that awesome artwork. That is absolutely brilliant. I love it. I think it's one of the most iconic covers they've ever done. Yeah, so talking about Impaled Nazarene, they're one of my favorite black metal bands. As I said, they're the first one I heard, but interesting story. For me, I loved the first 7 albums. Absolutely amazing stuff. And I'll cut a long story short, but like, I loved everything up to and including Absence of War Does Not Mean Peace. And then I remember the album which came out after that was called All That You Fear. I was a little bit disappointed with that one, and I just felt that, yeah, it didn't do it for me. And I tried to give it a chance, but I didn't get into it very much. I ended up parting ways with that album. And since then, I sort of, I didn't lose interest in the band, but I haven't been so up to date in terms of all their other releases. But I'm glad I picked this one up because it shows a great return to form. By the way, All That You Fear is not a terrible album, but I just feel compared to the others, there's a lot of filler and not very interesting stuff, but they do have about 5 or 6 really good songs. But anyway, this album is a great return to form. Just going to my notes here. So yeah, Impaled Nazarene are a Finnish black metal band, but they've always been renowned for blending their style with other styles like heavy metal, death metal, grindcore, and punk. Especially there's a strong punk influence in their music on some albums more than others. But I found in a lot of albums they're sort of emerging into more of a metal band in general because they're blending so many styles. But there's still strong influences of black metal mixed with punk. But the songwriting, especially on this album, has just become really good. They've got heavy riffs, but also fast staccato ones with thunderous drum fills and the same angry, shrieking, caustic vocals. The drumming on this is so aggressive, it's fantastic. This album is just extremely aggressive and unrelenting. It just never holds up, basically. And this band, but at the same time, they have the ability to balance extremity and aggression with melody and catchiness. All guitar solos on this album are shredding and blistering. They're not like, you know, in their early days when they were like a theatrical, minimalist black metal band, they were kind of karaoke kind of guitar solos, but this is blistering metal on this. So as musicians and songwriters, they're just getting better and better, I find. But this album, it's a great one to listen to when you're in a pissed off mood. It's obnoxious, abrasive and harsh, relentlessly aggressive. So really, really good. Now, I'll just make a quick note about this. The only problem I have with this album, I'll be honest, just a couple of things. First of all, sometimes I said it's unrelenting, but it seems like it's like the intensity of all the songs. It might be better if there was more variety sometimes, but there is, but it's just like it's a punch in the face to this album, definitely, to listen to this album. So like you expect unrelenting harshness the whole time. But the other problem I have with it, to be honest, is some of the lyrics on this album. So I just thought I'd make this clear. I do not condone all of the lyrics on this album. Like Impaled Nazarene have been a band which have never been shy of controversy and everything. And I don't think, with a lot of these bands, you don't take the lyrics too seriously. Like I think Impaled Nazarene, Mika Lutinen, I think a lot of those lyrics are written for shock value, so they're not meant seriously. But yeah, sometimes I just find some of the lyrics on this album a bit crass. Like some songs are really misogynistic, and as I've said, I have a problem with that when, you know, there's these songs expressing hatred for women. I just don't get it. Like when a song just has, I don't know, I have a problem. Like some of their earlier songs, like from the Rapture album, the song Inbred, that's a very offensive, vitriolic song, but it made me crack up because it's so foaming at the mouth, that song, and hilarious. But like the songs on this album, like the way the lyrics are written, it's sort of like, oh no, I don't support that. Like especially on songs like Something Sinister. Yeah, I don't endorse those vocals. Sorry, I don't like those kinds of lyrics. Not for me. But anyway, yeah, if people think what you want about that, but that's just me. But once again, it's ultimately about the music. So some of my favorite tracks on this would be Weapons to Tame a Land. That's fast, punky and manic with a wild guitar solo. Also Something Sinister, musically, not the lyrics. That's got some fast, manic riffs and melodies and harmonies and a blistering guitar solo. Also got Goat Sodomy, fast and punky, extremely catchy, and a lot of heavy and groovy mid-pace sections in the middle of the song. The track Neighbor Side, track 4, that's got a fast, catchy riff which sticks in your head, and the vocals kind of imitate the melody of the riff. That's one of the catchiest songs on the album, Neighbor Side. Also, Lucoria, I think that's what it's called. It closes side 1. That's just a haunting melodic instrumental, so this band is showing that they also have a melodic side as well. Then the second half. The last few songs are very fast and short, but I mean, the song Cut, that's got a punky, groovy riff. This Castrated World has got a catchy section in the middle. Psychosis is blasting, but it's got a shredding solo in the middle. Contempt has some great standout guitar riffs and melodies. I Wage War has a very sort of punk crust influence, and but also some catchy, slow, groovy riffs too. So it's good they sometimes change up the tempos in the songs. Also the song called Cancer, it's got short and fast. It's short and fast with some catchy punk riffs again. And one of the strongest tracks for me is track 14, which is called Hate, Despair, Arrogance. There's some standout riffs and melodies in that. It's more grandiose than the other punky songs, and rocking guitar solos once again, but the lyrics in it, once again, are just ridiculous. Yeah, like, there's a few songs on this, like Something Sinister, Cut, Hate, Despair, Arrogance, where I just think I don't like the lyrics, but musically, this album is absolutely brilliant. So, once again, I've probably given an overly detailed description, but you know me, that's how I am. So, ultimately, it's about the music, and musically, this album is great. It's a very strong, solid return to form for this band, and now I'm keen, once again, to check out their later releases. Okay, so you see, here's the back. Alright, so first of all, just show you the vinyl. Okay, so it comes on this kind of marbleized translucent aqua blue vinyl. Nice label there. And also there. Yeah, so you see in this light, you can see some parts are darker than others, so it's kind of marbleized, but very nice. Alright, and just showing you the gatefold. This one, sadly, it didn't come with a poster. I would love to have the poster of this to put it. I would hang that up because it's so iconic. But here you see, there's the gatefold of the band. Seem like a bunch of easygoing guys. Yeah, so if you just want really aggressive, unrelenting, punch in the face, punky black metal, this album is for you. Check it out, Impaled Nazarene with Pro Patria Finlandia. Alright guys, and that's it for this update. So 3 releases, you can see how they're all stylistically a bit different. So hope you enjoyed the video. If you're into those styles which I mentioned, I would check out these albums because I think they're all really good quality in terms of the music, even if I don't support all the lyrics. And I have no qualms about saying that I don't, because I just want to make that clear. Okay, so I'll be back again soon because there's some other cool threads popping up. So much to do. I've got a backlog of stuff I want to do. So I'll be back soon with some of those. So in the meantime, take care and I'll talk to you soon. Cheers.